What's up guys, Dan here, Coalcracker Bushcraft. So I'm lifting my Bushcraft weights out here, getting strong to pull tent pegs out of the frozen ground. Yes, it is a real issue in cold weather, specifically in weather that is nice and warm and everything's melted, muddy ground. You jam that tent peg deep down into that ground to hold your tarp in, and then while you're camping overnight, everything freezes and you go to get that tent peg out, and you can't. You need your muscles, you need strong little fingers to grab that and start to pull it way out, and it still doesn't work. Next thing you know, you're grabbing your tarp and you're trying to use your tarp. There's a better way. Of course there's a better way, and Coalcracker's gonna show you how. So to get one of these things out of the ground, you're gonna need some of this, and you're gonna need a stick. So here's a real life example. This tent peg went down in this ground when the ground was real muddy, so it's driven all the way down, and as I showed earlier, these are big, long tent pegs. I mean, they're very long, so it's really driven down there, and the ground froze up after the fact. Now it is like, it's in there. It's solid, and I can't even get my loop out because the hook on the tent peg is actually pushed down in the ground too. That's how far down we pushed it. So we got to remove this. The first step that you're going to do is you're going to take your paracord and you are going to place it around your tent peg so it's secure, and then you're going to tie it into a loop, which I'll show you a close up here in a second of how I'm going to do it with this one. Depending on the style of tent pegs you have, this can vary greatly. There's different knots you can use and different ways you can do this. And another little tip, and a little outside the box thinking, I have my ridgeline just hanging here, right? This is extra ridgeline material, so I can use this. I don't even need to pull out any extra cordage. I could throw that off to the sides. Okay, so I wiggled and worked my paracord around my tent peg. Okay, so I dug out a little bit, slid the end in, and then what I did on this side right here is I just simply tied a knot to create a loop. So you got to create a loop. If you don't have a hook style tent peg, you can use a clove hitch or something to grab this top section of the tent peg itself, something it needs to grab onto. Now, this is the easiest part. You're going to take your stick, you're going to put it through the loop. Okay, and then with my stick through the loop, I'm just going to use this as if I'm like pulling on a deadlift. Look at this. I mean, almost no energy whatsoever to pull this tent stake out. So there you go, all my bushcraft friends. A simple loop and a stick creates a mechanical advantage for you to pull tent pegs. Now, not only does this work really well with just simple tent pegs, also if you're putting up bigger shelters like wall tents and stuff like that at events, and you're using maybe metal rebar tent pegs, sometimes those things, they hit rock, or you drive them hard with a hammer through rock or a root, and it's like, this thing's never going to come out. This is going to save the day for you. And it's also really great to know this when you're on the trap line and you put your trap stakes in. You just put this around your trap stake and pulls it right out, easy breezy, and you're good to go. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe down below. You can also check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our classes, our merchandise, and our blog. And then until the next video, stay in the woods.